Hey, everybody, it's Melissa Martinez with the Pulaski County Health Department here again, and it is Friday. So, you know what that means? It's Fit Friday, and we're talking all things fitness. Today, I have the blessing of sitting down with one of my dear friends, Alicia Adamson. Alicia's from Springfield. She's saying hi, but she runs down here a lot. She does a lot of things here in Pulaski County as well. And as you guys have probably caught on, there's a lot of partnerships going on between the Pulaski County Health Department and other organizations. So, Alicia is with Ozark Mountain Ridge Runners. She's also an ambassador for Bass Pro Fitness Series. She's got her hands in a lot of different things, but it's all about fitness, something she's super, super, super passionate. I'm going to let her introduce herself, and then we're going to get to the story that is the main reason I wanted her on. So, Alicia, can you kind of introduce yourself and tell everybody why you're so passionate about fitness?
Hi, I'm Alicia Adamson, and I've always just been really passionate about fitness. I just started getting into it when my kids were young, like really young. My oldest is 19 now, so it's just been kind of always a part of my life. But I am the vice president for OMRR, and I do represent Bass Pro Fitness Series and also Missouri Team Beef.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that one. Yeah, you have your hands in a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So, Alicia, I know, like me, you recently came off an injury. What type of injury did you have? I forgot exactly what it was.
Well, first I broke my toe, which, that's just my own darn fault. And then after that, I had bursitis in my knees, and then a strained hamstring, and then I sprained my ankle. So it was just one thing after another. And yeah, it
No,
was,
I love that.
yeah, it was basically my body saying, you've done too much. You're done. So
Yeah, but on a good note, what I love that this did, because you and I are runners. I mean, we would say that's what we love to do. We just love to run. But injury is what forced me to get into aqua running, which I now teach, and it's been the most amazing thing ever. But I've been watching you, and you started getting into a lot of biking. How's that
mhm.
going for you? How do you like that?
Oh, it is its own beast in itself. Like, I used to do a lot of indoor cycling, but it does not compare to outdoor. Like, there's just no amount of indoor cycling that you can do that will translate over into the outdoor setting and everything. And, you know, um, just getting out and doing it and being with a whole new group of people. Not all of the bikers run, and not all of your runners bike. So it's kind of neat to get into another mindset, another new fitness minds, and just talk to them and encourage them, and vice versa. Because they have their strengths, and they may be really, really powerful on a bike, but then you put them on the road, and you know they're sinking too. So it's nice to kind of have that interesting balance of being on being powerful on a road, and then getting on a bike and realizing, wow, you got a lot of work to do. or hey, I'm really awesome at this type thing. So yeah.
Hey, so let's talk about that. Did that kind of open your eyes? Because I know for me, it really opened my eyes to the need to be cross training, to be strength training, to do core strength, to do weights, to do different type of things. Did that really open your eyes really to the importance of doing that?
Yeah. So my injuries, I'm a cardio junkie. I'll do
Hmm.
cardio all day long, and not, but I don't like to strength train. So yeah, and yoga, I love yoga, but I just don't put it in my workout all the time. So it did definitely, the injury helped force me into doing other things more than just the running, which um, help me see where I was weak, and also where I was strong. Because weakness doesn't always it's not always physical. It's that mental challenge too. It's that, um, you relate so much with running, and you think your whole life revolves around running, and then all of a sudden it stops. And, you see all your friends continuing to run and posting how they're doing all these running things, and you're just sitting back there going, I can't, or and
Hmm.
you're crying in your own beer, because you're like, well, I can't do that. But it takes that mental hurdle to get over that and go, okay, this is just a small point in my life where I'm on a setback, but that doesn't mean I can't still encourage my friends. I still can't go out and volunteer and be at all the races or help them in different ways, my friends anyway, and myself, because taking myself completely out of the running game would depress me even more. So, still trying to be encouraging, but helping my mental status as well, not get myself down and be like, oh, because I was out from October to almost April.
Yeah.
That's a long time to be gone,
It is a lot. It is. But
yeah.
I noticed too, I don't know if you saw, so for anybody out there watching, I also do the midweek motivation piece for Bass Pro. It's just a blog. It's an encouraging and motivating blog. But last week's was on setbacks and struggles. And, I had to write that, like you're talking here, I'm listening. That came out of an enormous pit because like last year, I think I was injured for 6 months out of the year. And it gets very hard to keep the joy. It gets very hard to keep your motivation. But the one thing that I found is that the more you encourage others, the more you're encouraged yourself.
Yeah.
Have you found that too?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that's why I never stop trying to be encouraging, just because I maybe not be able to do it doesn't mean that I can't encourage someone else to continue on their fitness journey, whether that's getting faster or losing weight or just being out there walking and hiking, because that's important too. Is we're a group of runners, but we're also a group of walkers, and we miss that aspect, because when we say we're a running group or we're a running community, that discourages some of our walkers. And it's like, well, we want you too. It's just that we consider ourselves a running group, but we want to encourage the walkers. Just like, so my post about being last in the biking, it was so true. Like I've just never, not that I've never felt being last, but it was such an exhilaration to be one of the last people. And I just kept pushing harder, and I just kept pushing harder because I was like, I can be faster. I can be faster. And it helps being with those faster people to let myself know that I can be better than where I'm at right now. So even though I was at the back of the pack biking, and I'm at the back of the pack running, I keep fighting to get up there because I know if I just keep working at it, I'm going to be better. I'm going to be stronger. So that was, yeah.
No, I love that you said that. And that's actually the reason when I saw that post, I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to have her on this podcast or this video thing that we do. And because I'm going to actually have it here. I have a copy of it. And what I love what you said, and this is what I love about your encouragement, is that you're being transparent and you're encouraging people all along the way. And that's one thing, just like you said too. And I want to reiterate that as well with our running group. Running groups are not just for runners. We call them running groups, but they're for walkers. They're for every pace, they're for every distance. But you wrote on May the 5th, never be afraid to be last. We did this ride, and you're talking about your husband, with the Taco Tuesday group two years ago. We were last that year, and I mean last, like late to the party last. And then you said you went out that night and you did your fastest ride to date. We are new to the group and don't know all the players, but we aren't afraid to try or be last. Hey, let's talk about that. I mean, you look like you had a great time. You said we will be one of the faster bikers someday, but for now we are close to last. And you have a heart and a smile, and I love it. So let's talk about that person out there that says, oh, I don't want to get involved with anybody. I don't want to, because I'm going to be last. What would you say to that person?
Oh, that's the wrong mindset. Like that's so wrong, because even though like there's some people that are just fast just by nature, and then there's other ones that have like worked so hard to get to that fast point, and everybody at some point can relate. And you're by not being involved, you're actually limiting yourself. You're limiting what you can do, and you're limiting what you can provide to the group itself as well, because you have stories and you have your own adventures that we can also learn from. And that's why I think, no matter what, like, even if you are last, like, I didn't contribute much to the group, but when I got done, it was nice to kind of hang out and, it was just nice to be on the other side and kind of feel that awkward feeling of not being a player, not knowing everybody that was sitting down to that table, and they were all had their own conversations, and they all, were able, like, hey, how's your kid, how's your like, but I wasn't afraid of that. I was like, I jumped right in, but I'm not overly shy either, so I jumped right in, and I was like, started just talking and putting my 2 cents in, or listening to conversations and trying to, learn from what they're saying or learn from what they're doing. And I just encourage everybody has a starting point, and everybody is just, and we all have ways to like connect, and we shouldn't be afraid to try something new, and to just, even if you don't know the players, just go to one of them and see what it's like. Go out and talk to people, but you can't be afraid to do that kind of stuff.
No, I would agree with you. We have a race coming up in Eldon. It's the um it's the Eldon race. It's put on for gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Well, at this very time last year, I was coming off a hamstring strain, and it was it's a 10-mile run. It's a 15K, so 9.3 miles. And we talk about, I've been closer to the front of the pack. I've been in the middle of the pack, but this race, I was the very, very last person, and because I was walking, and I had a choice. I can either, I was at the point in my rehab where walking didn't cause pain, so I could either sit on the sidelines or I could walk and have fun. And I tell you what, I had the most fun on that walk. And everyone who finished before me, which was everybody, and all of my friends, they came back and they walked with me and they finished with me. And so for that person out there that's afraid to be last is like fun. I mean,
Yeah.
It was a blast. And I always tell them, well, this is one race I got my money's worth out of, because I was literally, I
Right.
drank the last of the Gatorade. I mean, I
Right.
was out there, but I'll never forget it. It was so much fun. So
Yeah.
let's talk about that person who says, well, I'm not going to do this if I'm going to be last.
Right. And I think that you shouldn't be scared. Like, I think they're afraid to be last because of, and I don't know what they went through in school. Maybe they were always picked last for ball or whatever. And there's that fear of you're not liked because you're last. Well, that's not true. We like all of you, no matter whether you're the first place one or you're the last place one. We like everything about you. And, it's just, I don't know. You just never should be afraid to get out there and try. And because even though you may be last for this time, the next time you won't be last, but you also would be able to help that person that was last the next time. Because you were there and you had that experience, and you were able to maybe coach that next person who's, behind you or in front of you, that have just passed you, or, you can always give encouragement to someone else, regardless of where you sit in that pool of people. It's just about encouragement. It's not really about first, middle, and last. It's about the encouraging to get out there, be fit, be healthy, change the mindset, change the obesity rate, change what we're doing with our children, change how we're influencing our children. And that all comes from trying, from not being afraid to try. If you're afraid to try, what are you telling your children? What are you telling your grandchildren? If you're like, oh, I can't do it, I'm going to be last. Well, what's that kid see? But I find all the time that people will be more encouraging to the end people as well, because they want you to finish. They want you to be successful. And that's always my thought, is I want everybody to be successful in their fitness, because everybody's fitness is so different, and how their journey to get there is so different. It's just like how you get to Springfield. Everybody's road is different to get there. Some are gravelly, some are straight, some are curvy, some are asphalt, but it's all different, but you're all getting to the same point. And that's that fitness, that healthy body, that healthy mindset. And to me, they both go hand in hand. If you are, the more active you are, the healthier your mind is.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was a lot to take in. That you are so right. I want to hit on the family fitness part of it because we really, really promote that. Of course, all of our groups do. Healthy Futures, Frog Fitness Group, Ozark Mountain Ridge Runners, Bass Pro. We are all about the family fitness, and that's because it's just like in the relay race where you're passing that baton on and on and on. But like you said, our kids learn a lot more by watching us than by anything that we do or say. And if they see us afraid to get up and do something, well, that's kind of spills over to them.
Yep.
So now, how old are your kids?
19 and 15.
And they are active with you. But let's talk about what you did when they were young. How did you make this a habit for a lifetime with them?
Well, we started when they were really little. And we got into like, they did the paint the runs with Bass Pro for a while, which is a great series. So at first that series was called a marathon series, which they never really completed a marathon per se, but it was just part of what they considered it because they had 4 different things that the kids could do. They had the polar bear, they had a zombie run, then they had to paint. So it was always 4 activities that they could do. So we started with like the paint the run, we did the zombie run, and they were miles that were geared for kids. I have a totally different look on what a child should run, and everybody's view on how far their kid should run is up to that parent. My view is very conservative. I just now allowed my 19-year-old at the age of 18 to run his first half marathon. I wouldn't allow him up until he was 18. And other parents are like, their 18-year-olds can go out and do 100 milers. And that's their parents' prerogative. But encouraging them at that level. But my kids started it really young, and we would run with them until we thought like the course was safe enough and they could run without us. But really that was a parent decision. We didn't really allow them to run by themselves until they were 10 or 12, where I knew that they could possibly either outrun them or were smart enough not to get into a car or, be
Yeah.
taken from someone. Not that would ever happen on a race course, but you know what I mean? You have those fears as a parent. So we just never tried to push. We always just been like, okay, we're going to go run. You want to come with us? Or we're going to go do this race. It'll be fun. One of the funner things was for my kids when they were little was donuts. Like if they knew that there were going to be donuts after the race, they were for sure coming to that race, for sure. Without a doubt, they were coming to the race just so they could have donuts. So that's one of the cool things about OMRR is like right now we're kind of doing donut runs and trying to encourage that family. And we actually have a lot of kids, and the parents will tell us, hey, my kids are getting out of bed just so they can have a donut. That's awesome. Because that's how it starts. As they get out of bed, they realize the joy of running or walking, or even biking at that point. And they realize, hey, this is fun. I feel good after I do this versus sitting in front of a computer all day typing away. They feel better. They're more energized. They get that wiggly out, and they sleep better. They eat better. So. But my kids we've always ate right. And, the donuts were helpful to get them out. And I don't know, it's just keep encouraging them, but don't be pushy, because if you're pushy, then they don't want to do it anymore. But if it's something fun, they always do.
Let's hit on that again, because both of us we have our donut runs coming up, because you guys are doing them the third Saturday too. So we've been doing ours 6 or 7 years, and this is your third or fourth one, and they're going. I'm watching them; they're getting bigger. They're going really, really well. But you're right, for those parents out there that are looking for a place to start with their kids to kind of introduce them to fitness. Those are great ways to start for you and for your kids. So the Ozark Mountain Ridge Runners and Frog Fitness Group, we put them on the third Saturday of the month. You guys do yours at 8:00?
It depends, but yeah, it's around 7, 8, or 9, depending on weather and time of the year is what we've been trying to like. And sometimes, like with ours, even though they're scheduled for the third, we kind of have been real mindful of races too. So if there's a massive race coming up that's going to be on like So like May 15th is a pretty big race down in Branson. And so we chose to bump it back. Plus it's graduation weekend. So we chose to bump it back the next weekend. So we're kind of trying to make sure that we're mindful of other races in the area, but also of, like graduation or big events that are coming up for most families. So yeah, I mean, we're generally on the third Saturday,
Yeah.
like you are.
Yeah. We kind of switch them around too as needed. I can't believe that, gosh, that we're talking about graduation in summer.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a perfect time for the parents that are looking at starting a fitness program or doing something with their kids. Summer is perfect time to get out there, swim, get out into the parks, kayaking. There's so many different things and different activities that you can get involved with your kids. There's biking, that's family friendly. Like we said, kayaking, canoeing, hiking. We're pretty blessed in this area with all of our trails, as you guys are in Springfield. You guys have Dogwood Canyon, you guys got Branson. So what are some other, I kind of threw some of those ideas out. What are some other ideas that you can think about for family fitness?
Well, we have a local try group too, where the kids can try their first try, swim, bike, run. The Tiger Try actually puts one on. It's the day before the adults do it. And that one actually has a really good turnout too. And it kind of gives the kids a taste of, a little bit of swimming, a little bit of biking, a little bit of running. And, that's that to me is really fun little event to watch and go see these kids just put all of their heart, and you can just see it when they're running, and it doesn't matter where they've placed, doesn't matter, they're happy to be on that bike, they're happy to be out running, especially if their parents do it. Like they're like, look, I'm just like you, they're just so encouraging, and the joy on their face is just like that beyond anything. Just go, if you ever want, just go to one of those, go to a kids event, just to encourage other kids to do it. Just take your kid out there, because the joy of it from there, they're just out there having a good time, laughing. And that's what fitness should really be about, is the joy of doing it, not just that, oh gosh, I gotta go out and run 3 miles, like it shouldn't be that. It should be, oh my gosh, I get to go run 3 miles today. That's my perspective on it anyway. That
Oh,
you
no.
get to go.
I would agree with you on that. It's so funny that you brought that up. So this week's edition of Midweek Motivation was being childlike. And what I talked about is sometimes, if our 5-year-old selves could come and they could talk to us, I truly believe my 5-year-old self would be telling me, Melissa, don't take it so seriously.
Yeah.
It's really not that serious, and one of the other components was leave some of the gear at home sometimes, or leave the house with no destination in mind. And my favorite one is, if you don't like it, don't do it. Kids
Right.
don't voluntarily do anything they don't like. So
Right.
if you don't like to run, find another activity. If you don't like to bike, find another activity. Eventually you'll find something that you like. And then that's the key to long-term fitness, is finding something that you find joy in, and then, working to be your best, whatever that looks like. And you and I are talking outdoor stuff. There's indoor stuff. There's people that don't like going outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't have to. You can do a recumbent, you can do elliptical. The YouTube's got tons of tapes and stuff that you can do. I mean,
yeah, really. And that's very true. I mean, there's so many, like you can do squash. Squash is an indoor sport, I mean, and it's an interesting sport too. So, I mean, there's just so many, racquetball, there's so many different things that you can do, and don't be afraid to walk into a gym and not know anything. That was the biggest thing when I was a fitness instructor and personal trainer. I'd see this one person, it was a personal type, and they'd be like, well, I can't go to the gym because I'm not fit enough. What? That's the whole point of going to a gym, but I get it. I get that mindset, because you walk in and everybody's looking at you. At least that's how you feel. You know what I mean? getting into a bathing suit at the age of 47 and walking in for my first swim instruction, when there's kids that are all over the place that are, 16 years old and perfect shapes and perfect bodies. And I'm like, whatever, threw my towel over. I'm like, I just don't care. You want to look at my bum? Look at it. It's there. I don't care. But you shouldn't be afraid to be looked at, because you don't know what that person's looking at you for. They could be looking at you and admiring that you got out there and you are in the pool, or that you're on that bike. So instead of it being a negative, the way that that person's looking at you, it could always be a positive. But as women, or even just in general, as people, we always feel that people are judging us negatively.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not. You have no idea the amount of times I'll be staring at somebody and I actually walk up to them like, I love your hair. But they probably thought I was looking at them, judging their hair color, and I loved it. And instead of just staring at them, you say it. And I think that's what's wrong with our society, is we just need to say, hey, oh my gosh, I love your curves. Like you have a great body frame. You're healthy, instead of feeling that person thinking that you're looking at them negatively, looking at them positively, and saying it. Don't be afraid to say it, because you could have just made that person's day.
Wow, Alicia, I love that.
Yeah.
It's very, very true. You have given us a lot of good advice today. So my takeaway today is from you, and please add to this for the person out there. I just want to sum it up, is first of all, don't be afraid to try anything. Don't be afraid to be last. Don't feel intimidated.
Mm-hmm.
And don't think that people are looking at you at a negative way. It may be totally different.
Yeah.
And most importantly, find something you love and do it, and be a good influence to your kids.
Absolutely. Yep. That's it.
Well, Alicia, I love it. Thank you so much for being our guest today. How can they find out more information on Ozark Mountain Ridge Runners?
Just go to omrr.org, and the website's there, and you can actually just contact us through there should be a contact sheet on the back of it, and I'm usually the one that answers all those emails. So if you want to get a hold of me, or just friend me on Facebook, I have an open Facebook account.
Yeah, me too. It's Alicia Adamson and Melissa Martinez, and I'm also a member of Ozark Mountain Ridge Runners, and Alicia is also a member of the Frog Fitness Group and our Healthy Futures Pulaski County Coalition, and we both share a love for Bass Pro Fitness Series.
Yes, we do.
We do. All right, girl. Well, thank you so much for being our guest. We look forward to having you again, and thank you for the awesome tips. Is there anything that you want to say that you want to leave our viewers with?
Nope, nothing. I think I said it all.
I think you did. All right, girl. Happy Friday. Have a wonderful weekend.
All right. Same to you, hon. Bye-bye.
Bye.